that Metternich's long-term master plan was to secure a peace based on solidarity and consensus. Looking at the world today, it is obvious that for this reason Metternich is to be considered not only as a major historical figure, but also someone whose principles may still be of considerable importance. As this positive perspective on Metternich is associated in particular with the Anglophone world, I had always hoped that my biography might also become available to an English-speaking audience. There is a second, hitherto unacknowledged reason for Anglophone listeners in particular to be interested in Metternich. On one occasion, in private conversation with Dorothea von Lieven, the wife of the Russian ambassador in London, Metternich, who was of course a German from the Rhineland, said, "Austria is my moral fatherland." But he immediately added, "If I were not what I am, I would like to be an Englishman. If I could be neither the one nor the other, I would rather be nothing at all." This biography shows in detail, for the first time, that from an early age and throughout his life, Metternich was an admirer of the English political system, which he considered to be the best in the world, albeit a system not yet realizable under the social and political conditions that prevailed in the continental Europe of his time. He was strongly influenced by Edmund Burke and also by his personal experiences of the British Parliament, whose sittings he attended while staying in London. To him, this system represented what he called a historically evolved constitutionalism, and embodied the idea of a pragmatic rather than doctrinal or ideological conservatism. Metternich retained a lifelong enthusiasm for all things English, including parliamentary government, Burke's reflections on the Revolution in France, and English society in general. In his later years, he even discovered the writings of Alexis de Tocqueville, and, to the great surprise of an American visitor of his, developed a solid understanding of the peculiarities of American democracy. This book is the first biography of Metternich to be thoroughly based on archival material. For the first time, the family archives in Prague, which include Metternich's extensive personal papers, his library at Königswart Castle, and the documents of the Rhenish Johannisberg archive, were systematically consulted. Starting work on the documents in the family archive made me feel as though I was Howard Carter discovering the tomb of Tutankhamun. These previously unknown documents provided a view of another Metternich, of Metternich the strategist and visionary, and, as I have mentioned, of Metternich the Anglophile, aspects of the man that had gone unnoticed. Listeners are likely to discover similarities between Metternich's time and our own. That was not my intention at the outset. I did not want to push the issue of Metternich's contemporary relevance in order to make him appear more important. In my eyes he is not a hero, and in any case this is not how historians should approach their subjects. Historians should attempt to leave the moral prejudices of their own times behind, and try to understand the mentality and intellectual attitudes of the past, in this case a past more than 200 years away. My aim was to reconstruct Metternich's intentions, achievements, and failures. I wanted to demonstrate the incongruence between what he wanted and what he was able to do. But astonishingly, Metternich nevertheless ended up coming across as a surprisingly modern figure, and not only because of his views on war and peace. To us, who live in an age in which terrorists massacre innocent bystanders in the name of a higher cause, the unprovoked killing of the writer August von Kotzebue by the student Karl Ludwig Sand, also in the name of some higher ideal, appears just as reprehensible as it did to most people at the time. The countermeasures taken in response to Kotzebue's murder and other violent incidents may be compared to the activities of modern intelligence services and the other state institutions responsible for safeguarding constitutions. The Holy Roman Empire and the Habsburg monarchy were not kinds of nation-states, nor were they failed nation-states. They were historically evolved legal orders that are best understood as composite monarchies and multinational orders. Much like the European Union today, they tried to find a solution to the problem of how to guarantee harmony and unity between different nationalities in a way that advances the common interests of all.